Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So, UFC 317 has just taken place. Ilia versus Charles do Bronx Oliveira. And I'm here to give you my breakdown of the whole card. Thoughts and opinions, takeaways from each fight. Where we put each fighter, maybe. We'll see. But, man. Am I the only one who's thinking it's a good time to be a fucking UFC fan? Oh boy, this fucking event, man. Holy shit. To be honest, it wasn't like a 10 out of 10. But holy fuck, it was a nice, clean 8 out of 10. Honestly, probably the best card this year, given the results. And there was a lot of pullouts on this card. And there was a lot of fights that fell through. As well as, like, there not being a lot of fights. I think there was like 10 fights on the whole card, 11 fights, something like that. Regardless, I'm here to give you my breakdown as I do for every single event, so feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. This is instant reaction, so I might get a little passionate in some parts, and I might take back some things later on, but without further ado, let's get into the breakdown. Jonata Deniz versus Alvin Hines. Now, I went with Jonata Deniz by decision. And as always, I'll have my total score at the end. I believe I went negative, but you know what? I don't give a fuck, alright? I've been drowning in some of these fucking main events, alright? These main events have been boring as shit. At the rate we were going with, it was going to be Oliveira by 5-round boring decision. But we'll get to it. And, yeah, Jonata Deniz versus Alvin Hines. Yeah, I went with Deniz by decision. I just thought he was going to be very hesitant coming off, I think, his first pro loss to, I almost said Prachnia, Marcin Tybura. Different Marcin, but, yeah. I mean, Jonata, just at the end of the day, is just a fat fuck with good boxing. I mean, that's about it. You know, former kickboxer, now doesn't do the kicking part, only does the boxing part. You know, he did throw a couple head kicks, to be fair. Alvin Hines sucks. I mean, there's no, like, better way to put it. Every time Jonata Deniz, hold up, let me adjust that real quick. Oh, yeah, Jonata Deniz, he couldn't put away a fat fuck. Some call him the caramelized Brock Lesnar. Others call him, you know, fucking, what's that one guy from the Goonies? Hey, you guys. I don't fucking remember his name. Some call him that guy, alright? Others call him Anthony Smith if he had no diet plan in his career. But, most of us, we just call him Alvin Hines. Yeah, Jonata couldn't put away Hines. Hines just looked like shit that whole fight. Everything looked telegraphed. It looked like it was his first day on the job. Throwing the way he was throwing, looking the most telegraphed. I think fucking people all the way in the nosebleeds could see where this guy's throwing. People in the parking lot, allegedly, were reading out to Jonata Deniz what Alvin Hines was about to throw. That's how easy it was to read. Yeah, it just sucked. And it clearly, like, round one, Jonata's piecing up. He gets tagged a few times, but Hines doesn't really look like he's got power. That's, I think, what we kind of learned. And at heavyweight, that's a problem. He got pieced up, nose broken, shit like that. Round two, Jonata also was kind of just putting an ass whooping on him. Few moments where Hines shoots a takedown. Jonata looks like he's got improved takedown defense from an unranked bum outside of the UFC. Congrats, I guess. You know, yeah. And then round three, he just pieces him up again in a comfortable 29-28. I'm not sure which round wasn't Jonata's. I don't really care. I think you could have given round one to maybe Alvin Hines. I don't really care. There was an eye poke, I think, at round three. Overall, a pretty shitty fight. But, like, this was to be expected. You have some guy, I think a short notice debut, and Alvin Hines, kind of an older, later in his career, kind of just looks like a bodybuilder who's, like, done kickboxing or maybe a boxing class. And then you have Jonata Deniz worried that he might lose, so he's very hesitant, asking his corner, oh, did I win those rounds? I won those rounds. I won those rounds? I'm up 2-0? I won that round? So, yeah, I mean, it was just a hesitant Jonata Deniz. R.I.P. for Jacob from We Want Picks picking Jonata Deniz round one. Not a bad pick, to be fair, but I felt it that Jonata was going to be very gun-shy. And I don't think he's that good, even for a heavyweight. So, it is what it is. Moving on, Nico Price versus Jacoby Smith. The biggest UFC favorite of all time. Starting now, Jacoby Smith. Closing odds. Now, what I will say is he did not look like that really big favorite. However, is this a Bo Nickal situation, boys? This is what we got to think of now. Alright? Welterweight Chris Curtis is here, and I'm not gonna lie, he is kind of looking like a Chris Curtis out there. Been a little inconsistent, a little sloppy, a little tired, you know, a little tired too fast, alright? After round 1, Jacoby Smith looked like he was gassed. Now, to be fair, in round 1, he dropped Nico Price, he was whooping Nico Price, he was getting really good grappling advantages on Nico Price, but he was still getting tagged up. He was still letting Nico Price survive in sort of like a Corey Sandhagen way, where it's just like, I'll accept this going to the next round. You know, not hammer fisting 1 or 2 more times to finish this fight. You know, does he have power? Yeah. It also looks like he's going to gas out after round 1 in all these fights. But, Nico Price is a dog. I thought he was going to be tougher than a lot of people said. I leaned a Nico Price a Jacoby Smith round 2 finish. I know a lot of people had round 1, but I had a feeling it was going to be a little tough just because Nico Price is tough. A lot of people are going to call that Robbie Lawler retirement rigged. I would not disagree, okay, but Nico Price is a dog at the end of the day. I mean, I think he just gets cut after this. I think that's 3 in a row. That's Themba, Robbie, and now Jacoby Smith. I mean, there's not really anything you can really do after that point, I think. Jacoby Smith was asking for top 6, top 5, top 7, something like that, and I think the commentary said it perfectly, you know? Asking for top 7 might have earned bottom 15 after this performance, you know? I think Dominic Cruz said that. Cold line from Dominic Cruz. Hey, he still got it. But, yeah, I mean, Jacoby Smith, he's just like, he's got power. He looks like Khalil Roundtree with the same gas tank as Khalil Roundtree, but he's a wrestler instead of a striker. So, this is like where we get interesting, because he's going to be like a new type of fighter. But it is just like, you know, he's young too, I think, right? He's like kind of young, you know, 11-0. What's his age? What are we working with? 29, you know, he's got time to cook in the oven, right guys? But yeah, I mean, he's beat 2 bums. Nico Price is actually, I think, like, a lot of people are going to dog on Nico Price, but I think Nico Price is, like, he's like an Alex Morono. If you beat him, it's like, okay, you know what, you could be unranked welterweight looking for a ranked spot at some point in your career, you know? So we'll see. I don't think he's that good. He does, like, skill, talent-wise, he's looking up there, but it looks like he needs more time on a fucking treadmill, let me tell you. So, yeah, Jacoby Smith gets it done round 2. Moving on. Yeah, he got a slick rear naked, by the way. It was a very fast transition. It was kind of, like, there for him to grab. Like, it was very, like, you know, you see the boss attack, and he's just very slowly, Dark Souls 1 Asylum Demon, fucking about to do an overhead, and you're like, oh, okay, now I roll. You know, so it was one of those, very telegraphed, very easy to be like, yeah, now you go to it. You know what I mean? But hindsight's 2020. Moving on, Viviana Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. Never mind. Terrence McKinney versus Vishlav Borshev. I went with Vishlav Borshev. I don't think I can ever pick Terrence McKinney. All the talent in the world, similar to like Kevin Holland. But Terrence McKinney's problem is not his will to fight. It's his fucking chin, alright? So, you know, I picked Vishlav, so I'm a little upset that I got my pick wrong. I will be rewatching Terrence McKinney get slept by Esteban Ribovics and Ishmael Bonfim. Those will be my pastimes after this video, but Vishlav Borshev, he got taken down after a leg kick, and, yeah, he got instantly put into, I think it was an anaconda, and then a guillotine-ish type, I don't really know what you call it, I'm not really good with the terminology of jiu-jitsu submissions. But, yeah, it was like a guillotine type thing. Borshev tried, he's a warrior, but, I mean, he got submitted at the end of the day, you know? Terrence McKinney said Chase Hooper did it, but he's a different breed. Yeah, that gets slept if the wind blows the wrong way, you know? So, a little interesting from Terrence McKinney, but I respect it, I'm happy for the kid. You know, I don't dislike Terrence McKinney. I just worry what his kids are going to be watching when, you know how, like, a kid's fear is when they see their mother on OnlyFans. I imagine Terrence McKinney's kid's fear is going to be watching him get slept out by Esteban Rivavix and Esteban doing that fucking zesty ass dance that he did right afterwards. Alright? So that'd be my biggest fear. Alright? I don't want the school finding out, you know? But, yeah, I mean, Terrence McKinney gets it done pretty impressively, I guess. But, tough for Vishlav. I think he gets cut. I'll be honest with you, there's nothing you can really do with Vishlav. Like, what are you gonna do? Tell him not to throw a leg kick? Like, I mean, he threw one leg kick, got caught, and then he fucking... whoopsie daisy, he's got my back. You know, it's like, can't really do much there. You know, but Terrence McKinney is a touted prospect, kind of-ish, still, maybe, possibly. Some people are still riding with him. But, yeah, interesting performance. Moving on! Viviana Rougeau versus Tracy Cortez. The coin picked Tracy Cortez, or sorry, Viviana Rougeau. I don't give a fuck. It's women's fight at the end of the day. I don't care. I really don't. Like, I watched this fight. I watched round 2 and 3. I just don't care. It was boring. You know, commentary went nuts. That's about it. Moving on, Hyder Emil versus Jose Delgado. Now, I did go with Hyder Emil, but he ended up getting chinned. He was complaining about an early stoppage. It was a clean knee up the middle. Had Hyder Emil out stiff. And then he hit his head off the canvas. And that might have woken him up. Because right after, the ref stepped in. After Hyder maybe landed like... or sorry, Jose landed like 1 or 2 blows after that. You know? Hyder bounced up and he's like ready to go. Drew Dober, Manuel Torres style. And it's like, little bro, you just got finished, all right? You were caught out, you know? So it is what it is for Hyder Emil. Sucks for Hyder Emil, but that's his first professional loss? Really? I thought he lost to... oh, right, he beat William Gomez in that split decision. Hey, karma comes around, baby. But, yeah, Jose, it's tough, man. I hate when prospects do this. And they get, like, this really quick finish, because it's like, where the fuck... like, at least with Malcolm Wellmaker, it's like he flatlined a tough dude. Hyder Emil's not necessarily a tough dude. He just walked into a knee. You know what I mean? Well, he did get clenched into the knee, but it's still like, fuck, man. It's rough for me to want to pick Jose after this, but, I mean, he is kind of big for featherweight, I guess, in a way. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the matchups get picked. But the takeaway: Jose Delgado might have some of the strongest knees in featherweight history, including Ilia. But we'll get to that. Moving on. Jack Hermansson versus Gregory Rodriguez. Now, I was a little worried about picking Gregory Rodriguez. Okay, you know, I do worry for this guy's chin. He does have like a battle-worn face. He might be 33 on statistics. Or 34, however old he is. But he's definitely like 50 years in dog years, you know? His face is basically made out of paper. You can cut that shit so easily. So it's rough on like scorecards, how like Gregory Rodriguez is going to deal with scorecards. But I'll be honest with you, he kind of does have this mentality. The way he fights, he doesn't... It's like he doesn't think about, oh, I'm down on the round or whatever. He's only worried about going in for a kill. That's it. And he'll do the same shit every time. If it doesn't work and Jack Hermansson shoulder rolls the right hand, okay, well, I'm going to try it again until it works. You know? And it didn't end up working, so he's like, all right, time to switch. RoboCop mode activate. Hook over the top. And that's what he did. And he fucking caught Jack Hermansson out cold. You know? I think people overrate Jack Hermansson's chin. I get it. He did fraud check Joe Smallpeen Pfeiffer. But Joe Pfeiffer quit due to an eye poke. Jack Hermansson was still out on his feet in round 1 and 2. Go and rewatch that fight. You'll see moments where Jack Hermansson's literally unconscious standing. You know? And Jack Hermansson, at the end of the day, was just locked out. And that's why I had to go Gregory Rodriguez. Long layoff. He's not really concerned about being a name in the UFC. Kind of just like, oh, I'm broke. All right, shoot me whatever you got. Gregory Rodriguez? Fuck it. You know? And this fight in round 1, even though it was round 1, it was very much like who's going to find their rhythm type of fight. Because Jack Hermansson, you know, he's very slow to start off, and then we get 3 minutes in, and he's throwing combos, and he's getting closer on Gregory, and Gregory's got a lot of cuts on him. So it's looking like a Jack round, you know, if he kept up that sort of rhythm. And G-Rod's just like, no, RoboCop mode, activate, boom! And fucking smoked him. It is what it is, you know? Yeah, I picked Gregory. I think I picked him by decision via 29-28, but he got it done on the round one. I did say I wouldn't be surprised if he stiffed out Jack Hermanson. That's what he did, you know? So it is what it is. Moving on, we got the main card. Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. Lima. You don't deserve these glasses for that performance, I'll be honest. What are we doing, brother? What the fuck are we doing? Spinning elbows? Every right hand you threw landed, and we're doing spinning elbows on the guard? Okay. We're rolling for legs? Okay. We're blast doubling from the farthest possible position you can be from? This is what we're fucking doing, Lima? Really? The touted prospect subbed Amavov? Or not Amavov, Nasruddin? No, what's his name? Naimov. I dissected the name and said them separately. Regardless, Lima, what the fuck, man? Literally, like, Peyton Talbot would wait so long to do his exchanges, and Lima would get the better of the exchanges in round one, and then he's forcing grappling. He's looking like a clown on the ground, man. He really is. I went with Lima by sub because I just thought he'd be slick, get to the back at some point in the later rounds. But round two, he's getting pieced up by Talbot, and then he starts rolling for a leg. He gets put on bottom, and Peyton Talbot's just fucking laying on guard, you know? Role-playing Canadian over there. He stands on guard for thee, alright? You know if you know. But what the fuck, man? It's literally like Felipe Lima was told by his corner to throw in the final round. I get it, 1-1. Voice crack, ignore that. I get it, 1-1 going into the third, so it's a little like, okay, nerves are flowing, whatever. But he threw away the round by doing spinning shit instead of just straight jabs and everything. And another thing with Lima is that his composure is dog shit. When he's getting tagged, he's moving his head like it's getting snapped back and shit. I get it, Talbot hits hard. And I think that's what we still learn. Talbot's still, like, there, you know? But, man, to be put in the positions he was put in by Talbot, where it's like his face was literally sniffing. Lima's face, at some point in round three, was sniffing Peyton Talbot's ball sack. And I mean that literally, for about a minute straight. Talbot just smiling. yeah, that's right, teabag. You're gonna let that guy do that to you? Come on, Lima. I expect more from Felipe Lima. This was disappointing. You know, he's got all the talent in the world. Like, he's got that Gamrot in him. You know, he's got that just fucking push through, get the takedown via some means, and just control that guy on the ground. Oh, he got up, let me shoot again, blast double leg, get him down on the ground. It's there. But I don't know if he needs to, like, be trained under Gamrot for like 2 or 3 years type of shit, you know? Standum to Dagestan, 2 or 3 years, brother. Type of shit, but man, Lima, this was just very disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. Very, very disappointing from Felipe Lima. Again, all the talent in the world. Round one, it was kind of close. I edged it for Felipe Lima. Striking exchanges, Lima looked like he was just faster. He looked like he was a little bit more busier, even on the back foot. And then he was shooting in takedowns here and there to, you know, get some things going, getting him with some spinning back fists. Round two, he's just shooting in awkward times, getting switched, pushed against the cage, and just, like, out-muscled in a way. But there'd be, like, moments where it's like, no, Talbot's not, like, doing shit here. And Lima's trying to, like, pull for bottom position. Not, like, guillotine way, just like a, oh, let me grab that ankle real quick as he's, like, standing. It's really, really weird shit, you know? Got a few double leg stuffed, and it was just disappointing. And then round three, he got laid on as well. He ended up on bottom, got laid on for about 3 minutes, I want to say. Felipe Lima did. And then in round three, he just fumbled it. He was doing really good. And then towards the end, in the final minute and a half, 2 minutes, he shot a bad takedown, ended up on bottom, almost reverse position, tried to get back up, wasn't good enough, and he just ended up on bottom, sniffing Peyton Talbot's nuts. Alright, so, just disappointing. Just disappointing from Lima, you know? But Peyton Talbot looks like he still got pop. He looks like his takedown defense has improved a little bit, if any, from that Honey Barcelos fight. So maybe that loss really did improve him. I guess we'll see in the next performance. But good win from Peyton Talbot. Really bad performance from Felipe Lima. Moving on from, or to, Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Hey, robbery decision. Who's with me? Hey, who's with me? Hey, Renato clearly won the third, guys. No, round one, Renato was doing really well. And he smoked Dariush. He almost put him out. He knocked him down. Dariush does the same shit, where he's only head movement when his back is against the cage. But he's not young and spry enough to really dodge out of the way of danger. Got clipped on the jaw, got put down. Other than that, it was fairly competitive on the feet for the most part. And then round two, Beneil Nurmagomedov Dariush came out. Blast double leg, gets it. And lays on Moicano. Nothing of note happens for 4 minutes. And I mean that literally. Then, round three happens. And both of these guys looked like it was fucking... Holy shit, man. Like, oh, both of these guys, they just look so tired. And I get it. It was a good pace for the first 2 rounds, you know? Grappling pace in round 2. Good striking pace in round 1. And there was moments where Renato's like, alright, bite down gum shield. We're going to swing this out. But he wouldn't swing, and he'd just bite down. Hands down, getting hit by Dariush. You know? And that's how Dariush wins his fights. And Renato trains with Gamrot. And Gamrot's... He's fought Beneil Dariush. So I thought, like, Renato would just have the formula, you know, and crack the code. So it's just... What the fuck was the game plan in round 3, man? He comes out, hands low, getting tagged up, not throwing anything. 3 minutes go by. He's lost all the striking exchanges. He's gotten taken down a few times. Stuffed a few, to be fair. But it's like, Renato went into no gi grappling mode. Or sorry, gi grappling mode in round 3. And it's like, brother, you're in an MMA fight. Swing some fucking heat, you know? And if there's anything you teach a fighter nowadays, as a coach... You teach them, in the final 30 seconds, swing it out if you're losing that round, because you need a big moment. So what does Renato Moicano do when it's very close? Arguably, he's fucking losing, and not even arguably, most likely he's losing this round. He shoots a double leg, doesn't get it, gets stuffed, and then he just looks at Dariush for the final 10 seconds, watches him walk off. Brother, he could afford to lose. And my main question is, I think his shoulder was fixed in that fight because it didn't look like it was popped out like it normally does. How the fuck? I get it. Benoit Saint-Denis is not top 15, like, I get it, right? I get it, okay? Benoit Saint-Denis isn't that good. But, how do you beat someone that bad in round 1, okay, and Benoit Saint-Denis? And round 2, have a fairly decent competitive pace, only for it to be stopped in round 3. How do you do that and have round 2 great cardio? And then in this fight, you look gassed out within the first 2 minutes. I get it, he landed that big blow in the first round, but literally after the first 2 minutes, it looked like Renato was just locked out. It looked like he's like, oh yeah. It was like a Jose Aldo, Amin Zahabi moment where it's like, oh yeah, I am getting old. What's the time say? Oh shit, you know? And then round 2 comes along and Beneil just fucking steamrolls. Listen, I respect Beneil. I didn't mind Beneil winning this fight, truthfully. Even though I'm a Renato Moicano glazer. It did make the press conference interesting. The only person to make the press conference interesting was Renato Moicano. But it is just disappointing. For someone who's like, I cannot afford to lose. Someone who's got all this merch, opened up their gym, all this other shit going on. And that's your final round performance? I don't like that. I really, really don't like that. Very disappointing from Renato Moicano, you know? And that Paddy Pimblett fight is now long and gone for a couple reasons, but this was definitely one of them. Very disappointing from Renato Moicano. It is what it is. Beneil gets it done. I'm happy for Beneil. Unk still got it. Beneil is like he's a good anti-grappler. You know, if that Arman Tsarukyan fight didn't happen the way it did, where he got smoked within the first few seconds, probably wins that fight. But it is just, he's got a paper-thin chin. And the way his striking defense is terrible too. Beneil Dariush's striking defense is old man style, where it is just it's Khalil Roundtree, this shoulder movement, but your head is sort of still on the line. You know, it's not like a Brandon Royval. It's not like a, you know, it's not like usual head movement, boxing head movement. I mean, you know, it is very like stiff, very predictable, you know? So I think high-level strikers give Beneil Dariush a big problem. You know, I think Dan Hooker whoops Beneil Dariush. Honestly, give Dan Hooker a free win. Just give him Beneil Dariush, all right? At this point, Beneil's coming off a win. I did think there was going to be that quit in Beneil. I thought Beneil was going to be like, damn, man, you know, 2 losses in a row by KO, you know, haven't fought in a while. I'm getting old. Kind of hang up the gloves, you know? But he didn't have that quit, man. He looked defeated by the end of round 1. Started round 2. He comes out with a fucking fire under his ass, you know? So there's no quit in Beneil. Even Beneil's the type of dude to visually show he's got quit, but he's not actually ever going to quit. And that's something I can respect about Beneil Dariush, you know? So, Unk still got it. Gray hair's coming through. It is what it is. We move on to the next. The number 1 contender flyweight bout. The next flyweight champion decider. Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. Can I just say, absolute fucking cinema. This fight of the year. I don't give a fuck what you have to do. Book it, fight of the year. The fact that this wasn't a 5-rounder is honestly a little depressing. UFC, mandate both of these fighters every weekend so we can have at least one guaranteed banger of a fight every card. Enough said. You know, Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van, our little manlet, our little battle gnome, our little whoever you want to call it. We did it. We got Joshua Van to where he is. And now we will become the flyweight champion along with our little battle gnome Joshua Van. Now, what I will say, I was on the Brandon Royval side. Don't look at my topology account, okay? I might have picked Brandon Royval, okay? To be fair, I did doubt the little battle gnome, man, you know? Brandon Royval is a battle-tested veteran. Now, something of importance we need to note here, Brandon Royval did come in with a little fucking special ed helmet on. I don't know what the fuck happened to him. Some people are saying he was concussed or something before the fight. Regardless, still a vintage win. And that was still vintage Brandon Royval as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to be honest, though. Hey, Joshua Van goggles off. That fight was razor thin close, okay? And I'm not even talking about just the knockdown, okay? Round 1, those numbers are rigged. And, hey, I ain't complaining about the rigging, okay? But those numbers are rigged. Brandon Royval easily doubled to triple Joshua Van striking in round 1. That's just a fact, all right? I don't give a fuck what number you put in front of my face. What I saw was Brandon Royval doubling Joshua Van on strikes. Unbiased goggles. I want Joshua Van to win. I had Joshua Van winning arguably 3-0. Very clear 2-1. But by very clear, that's with Joshua Van wanting to win goggles on. If we're looking at this as like an objective, like Brandon Royval did piece up Joshua Van in round 2. He did. I want to say it was like 20 more significant strikes or something like that in round 2. Then Joshua Van set a new personal best for his significant strikes, which is pretty impressive for Joshua Van. The real deciding factor here and why Joshua Van genuinely won this fight was visibly who looked like was taking more damage, right? Because when you're looking at this as like a who landed more, I think it was very clear Brandon Royval landed more in every round. And I don't give a fuck what numbers you show me. Brandon Royval did just outland him in every single round. But what I will say is that Brandon Royval visibly took way worse damage. Way worse. His nose was getting busted up. His jaw was getting spun around his head. He was still standing. He took knees at some point, like a knee, where it looked like it was almost a knockdown. But genuinely, Brandon Royval, there's an argument he won this fight. Now, I will forever say Joshua Van won this fight, okay? And I will forever promote Joshua Van as being the next flyweight champ, okay? But it was fucking razor thin close, okay? And I'm happy those scorecards were pre-written. A 30-27 by that one judge is insane. That is a biased pick who had money on Joshua Van. That is just straight up facts, okay? But Joshua Van did showcase he is top level. He does have great game plans. And listen, when you're looking at like a high level IQ, like Brandon Royval was just like, I'm gonna smother this guy with pressure, and it didn't work. Like if I'm Brandon Royval, you know, I'm doing all this pressure shit, and if he's getting close with like a knee or something like that, because he only threw like 3 knees, Joshua Van did, I'm shooting like a blast double. I'm shooting like a trip, you know? I'm getting a clinch to the cage, and that didn't happen this whole fight. This fight was fireworks. This was Peter Yan versus Max Holloway at flyweight. Yes or no? This was literally Peter Yan versus Max Holloway at flyweight. I'm so happy we got it. But Brandon Royval, his plan was to smother. Joshua Van was like, oh shit, my toe just broke. All right, oblique kick. I'm going to stomp out his leg. Hopefully I can get some momentum going here. Boom! Right hand fucking drops Brandon Royval pretty bad, you know? And another thing is that Brandon Royval was wincing at a lot of shit. Joshua Van would get wide-eyed, all right? He would get, like, boxed up, and his head would, like, jolt back, right? But he's instantly back. He's instantly in it. Brandon Royval, he would throw, get hit, and be like, ugh, you know? Where Joshua Van is just boom, you know? Boom, 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 you know? Boom, boom, you know? Boom. Back into it. Brandon Royval is like a, ugh, you know, like he was definitely taking more damage, but at some point it was like Brandon Royval was just like, fuck it, I'm going in there, this guy's not putting me down, and he did put him down in the third. Do I think Joshua Van won this fight? Yes. Do I think there's an argument Brandon Royval won this fight? Yeah. You could give him round 1, you could give him round 2, I wouldn't be mad. But at this point, anything King Joshua Van wants, King fucking gets. Okay, UFC? If he wants that title fight, fucking by the end of this year, he gets that title fight. Now, I'm probably going to do a video on how I would correct the flyweight division, because I don't want to see Joshua Van lose, so I'm going to have Pantoja move up a division, obviously. But, impressive performance from both men. Brandon Royval set a record. Joshua Van proved he's a fucking top level G at the age of 23, alright? I'm getting my ass to the gym. I'm younger than this man. I'm taller than this man. I'm gonna train under Joshua Van and become the next fucking champion. Ilia Torrio, hey! Yeah, that's right. Ooh! You're gonna fear the ginger, alright? Let me tell you. Anyways, yeah, Joshua Van won. We did it, boys. We did it. I even said I'd be rooting for Joshua Van, alright? So I'm not flipping on my guy, Raw Dog Royval. But Royval did have an impressive performance, you know? And it's tough to say where they go from here. I'll probably do a whole video on it. But sick performance, fight of the night, by far. Give both men 200K. I don't give a fuck what you have to do, Dana. I don't care how many blowjobs you gotta give John Jones. Get to it, alright? These guys need their paycheck, okay? And then on top of that, Joshua Van might genuinely be crowned champion at the age of 23. This is what I'm talking about. I don't care what gym you're at. I don't care what gym you own. Put Joshua Van, put a picture of Joshua Van smoking Royval in the third, okay? Put it on your wall and be like, this is who we try to be every single fucking day, okay? And that's what I want promoted in these gyms. Kickboxing gym. I don't even give a fuck if it's a BJJ gym, alright? You want to be Joshua Van. That is what we should be promoting in our gyms. Anyways, with that being said, let's move on to the co-main event, being Alexander Pantoja versus Kai France. Now, what I will say about this fight, God, I love flyweights. Number 1. Number 2, Pantoja is just him. He's just him. He's just him. You're not going to beat him. Pantoja is... he is the man, alright? Were there moments where Kai Kara-France had success in round 2? Sure. He sure shit didn't have it in round 1. I think Pantoja had 4 minutes of control time. You could probably quote me on that, because it's 4 minutes or over on control time with Pantoja in round 1. Dominant. Could have been a 10-8, to be fair. Alright, that might be overglazed from me. I'll be honest. I'll keep it a buck. But Pantoja was whooping the fuck out of Kai Kara-France. A lot of people went Pantoja by decision. I had him by... I might have had him by decision, to be honest, on Tapology. I gotta fucking double check it. But I did have Pantoja winning this. I was thinking late round sub. Alright? I was telling everyone who is, you know, every regular I talk with about MMA at the workplace, I'm telling them, Pantoja, 4th round sub. And he got it in the 3rd. He's even better than I thought. But yeah, Pantoja came in, swinging, came in, got the takedowns. He just showcased he is better than everyone in flyweight. He just is. Like, it's almost like Merab at bantamweight, but with actual fucking skill on the feet. Actual danger on the feet. Like, he just is. I want to see Pantoja Merab give a teaser for my flyweight video, okay? Because I know not a lot of people watch my breakdown videos. I want to see Pantoja 1 year off. This is ideal, perfect world. 1 year off Pantoja. I know he's getting a little older, 34, 35, whatever. Are you proud of me now, Dad? Anyways, 1 year off, bulk up to bantamweight, Merab Pantoja for the bantamweight belt, and in the meantime, you do, honestly, fucking anyone versus Joshua Van, okay? Joshua Van versus anyone, and it's cinema, okay? Cinema. Alright, maybe put like a punching bag in there. Maybe like a Brandon Moreno, a dumb fuck who isn't dangerous on the feet at all. You know, put Brandon Moreno in there just to get slaughtered by Joshua Van, 5-rounder, to get his ass beat for 5 rounds. But I think that's my ideal world. I don't think that's going to happen, but Pantoja is the real deal. A lot of people are talking about GOAT conversations now. Let's not, like, get it twisted. He already did beat Kai Kara-France. I get it was like 10 years ago. But on top of that, Kai Kara-France got a one win streak, and he got the fucking title shot, okay? Let's not get ahead of ourselves now, okay? And Kai Kara-France just got shut down, and that's what, this is what Pantoja does. You know? Merab shuts people down because he's got a lot of cardio for certain not EPO reasons. But Pantoja shuts people down because he's just better than them. And he's getting better. Provably getting better. You know? So, very excited for Pantoja. Very excited where he sees. This is like, I'm a newer fan. I've been watching for almost 4 years. This might be my Mighty Mouse as I'm watching grow up. I watched his title fight with Brandon Moreno, and that's how I found out about this guy. And since this guy's been champ, I picked him in every single fucking fight. And I'm just jaw-dropped on every single fight. He just ups the level every time. So, I'm excited to see where Pantoja goes. Yeah, moving on, main event. Ilia Topuria smokes Charles Oliveira, sleeps him out cold. I had Ilia Topuria by sub. He tried it for a little bit, abandoned it, was like, fuck it, we don't need it. Got up and just bink, bink. And, yeah, put out Charles Du Bronx Oliveira out cold. I mean, I'm not surprised. I don't think a lot of people are that surprised. I get it, slumped out cold is kind of crazy for Oliveira. And I did think Oliveira was going to live it at least once. But, like, I mean, what do you want? I mean, the dude almost got finished by Chandler in round 5. Like, Oliveira just ain't the same, you know? And another thing I will say before I finish my video here. Oliveira was doing a lot of like, oh, my mentality better, brother. I'm better mentally, brother, and all this other shit. Where Ilia was celebrating before the fight even happened. Like, yeah, I'm the lightweight champ. In Ilia's mind, he knows he's already champ. In Charles' mind, he's like, I'm going to be champ because I'm mentally stronger. Through the power of friendship, I am stronger. My familia behind me. This ain't 2015, Will, bro, alright? The skillful one wins the matchup this time around. You know, you have to be all around in today's day and age to be a champion. You have to be all around everywhere. There's not one champion reliant on one thing anymore. And that's how it is, you know? Merab, cardio machine, but he'll throw, like his striking's not clean, but he'll throw and he'll shoot takedowns. Pantoja, same shit, but better at it. Volkanovski, good all around. Ilia Topuria, good all around. On the ground, on the feet, defensively. Chin-wise is a little questionable. And Paddy Pimblett, they were promoting it. Paddy Pimblett might have a genuine chance. I'm not picking Paddy Pimblett, but he might have a genuine chance. You know? JDM, all-arounder. Middleweight DDP. DDP, he can strike, he can grapple, he can wrestle, he can submit. You know, Ankalaev, good everywhere. Tom Aspinall, good at... Like, you have to be good everywhere. And Charles Oliveira, his striking isn't that good. He's got rangy striking. He's got good MMA striking for, like, his era. But we're in a new era. You have to evolve. You have to change. You can't be reaching out, trying to get clinch on a guy fucking 3 miles away from you, you know? You gotta fucking clean it up. You gotta be defensively responsible, you know? You can't let your hands go when you have a guy like Ilia in front of you. El Matador gets it done. I think he changed it back to El Matador because Eli Leyenda is kind of gay. But Ilia Topuria got it done. He smoked Oliveira. Happy for Ilia. I'm way happier about Pantoja and Joshua Van. I'll just keep it a buck. Yeah, Ilia Topuria probably just smoked one of your favorite fighters again. Hey, Ilia's stocks are rising, baby. I think this performance warrants him going up and fighting Makhachev. He just slept Oliveira in round 1. And there was that statistic in the build-up the whole time. Charles has never been finished in round 1, guys. He's never been It's been over 10 years since Charles has really done bad in the first round. He just got fucked up by Ilia. Slept out cold, alright? Poirier gets smoked. We all know this. Gaethje. Oh my god, I have a friend who's a big Gaethje fan. Hey, rest in pieces, brother. Rest in pieces. Gaethje ain't making it out of the first minute, man, after that performance. Holy shit. But yeah, made it to the end of the video. I want to thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you have a good day. For any fans of the channel, it's going to be a little bit of a slower week. We don't have an event for the weekend, but, you know, I'm going to take some time off, relax, focus on my diet, get lean, mean. Fighting machine over here. But yeah, I want to thank you for watching and making it all the way to the end of this video. And as always, hope you have a good day.